Well, fellas, we've been at it for a little while now, man. So,
hey, but hold on, man. If chivalry is dead, it was killed by the opposite sex.
Don't say it.
Don't
bro.
do that.
I just did. I just did.
Well, you're gonna get us canceled on the first episode.
Nah, man. No, bro, man, you can say whatever you want, man, but how many times have you fell victim to somebody that don't even know how to receive it? You're gonna walk on the inside of me if we're walking down the street. You know what I'm saying? Just because that's the way you were raised. You're gonna open up the door. You're gonna pull out the chair, and then they look at you like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? Like there's something wrong with you.
Welcome to the Parallel Legacies podcast, where I'm one of 4 dudes, and I got 3 of my best friends with me. I got Doc Brown, I got Mitch, I got S. Dot. Fellas, what's good, man? How y'all feeling?
What's going on, brother?
Good.
So, skip all that intro, man. We finna get right to it, man. So our topic for today is, what do men really want from women? Fellas, what y'all think?
Hey, man, I'm gonna start off, bro. I'm just gonna jump right into it. One of my biggest pet peeves is subtle clues, man. I'm not a dude that likes subtle clues. If you got something that you want me to do, or you got something you want me to say, just come right out and say it, man. I'm not the one that pick up on a lot of that stuff, maybe because I'm slow or whatever the case may be. But you can't get angry at me because I'm not picking up what you putting down. Just tell me straight up. That's one of my biggest pet peeves in relationships. What y'all think about that?
Fam, I don't disagree with that statement, bro, because I hate it when you get that look like, I don't know what the hell you want. Just half the time, I don't know what I want. So how am I going to figure out what you want and what I want? You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to need you to go ahead and figure that out and tell me what you want, and I'll make it happen.
Yeah.
I 100% agree, man. But I think part of life in general for a lot of women is for us to figure them out. So it's always something being dropped.
Right.
For us to pick up and figure out what that is. Hey, we can't even get like a simple dinner suggestion. Hey, what you want for dinner? What do you think I want? It goes into a bigger situation. So yeah, I definitely agree with that, man. Just tell me what's up, and I can make it happen. But don't leave me out there trying to figure it out.
Right. That's not what you got, fam. What you think?
I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon here. Yeah, I agree with you as well. But to Doc's point, man, how we're supposed to figure them out, but it's like how. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm more left with a question than a statement. You know what I'm saying? Other than being in agreement, bro. That's really it. Like, big question mark. How? You know what I'm saying?
Right. So for me, I would say for me, there are 3 things that's most important to me, right? The first thing that's really, really important to me is peace. I already got to walk out the house and fight the world. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot of ways that I have to look at situations as a black man in America. You know what I mean? So when I come to the crib, I get it. You ain't seen me all day and this, that, and the other. But I need some peace when I come home. I would say the second thing that's extremely important to me is that I need to know beyond the shadow of a doubt that you with me and you got my back. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I would almost put that first. You know what I'm saying? Because if at any point I feel like you ain't got my back, I'm done. There ain't nothing else to talk about. Ain't nothing else for us to discuss. Nothing. I'm through. Because a lot of the moves that I make for my spouse, is in some ways can be to my detriment. So if I'm doing things to my detriment for somebody who I know ain't got my back, then I don't want you in my house. And the third thing, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, man. Like, she ain't got to be a porn star or nothing like that. But a strong and healthy sexual relationship is very important to me, because that's also a lot of the ways that we continue and further the bond of the relationship, right? But going back to my second point, man, if my second point is off to where I don't feel like you're for me and I don't feel like you're on my team and we building this together, she could be a trapezist or something. You know what I mean? Flipping off the rafters or something. You know what? I'm good. It's great for what we're doing, but you know what? I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Eric, man, I agree with you 100% on that. I was thinking about this analogy the other day, man. You've never seen Serena and Venus do a doubles tennis match, and one of them don't play and they still win the match, right? In order for them to be successful and to win the title, they both got to play. That's how I look at relationships. In order for us to win the title, we both got to play.
Right.
And we both got to support each other, and we both got to continue to level up at the same time. We both got to continue to train at the same time. And then, we can retire together. You know what I'm saying? We can do all those other things together. But while we still in it, you having my back, me having your back. I mean, I think that's one of the most important things in a relationship. Once you guys come together, or once we bond and become a team, I feel like we're unstoppable force. You know what I mean? And without that unstoppable force, man, I mean, you're in it to win it. I mean, you're going to have setbacks. You're going to have all those other things, man, that's going to hinder you along the way. But as a team, you overcome those pitfalls and those setbacks, so you continue to win. Venus and Serena ain't won every, doubles match, but they always train hard and come back. You know what I mean? And they continue to move forward. So that's my analogy, when it comes to relationships, man. Hey, let's make a doubles match, man, and let's play to win. And once we make it that far, man, we unstoppable. We unbeatable.
Yo, Mitch, man, I totally agree with you, bro. But with all that, right? Everything that you just said, man, comes down to one factor, right? Even what Eric said, in regards to his three things, that's important to him. It's all about communication. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should be able to talk about anything. If you my woman, I'm your man, you know what I'm saying? Put it out there. Put everything out there on the tables. Be vulnerable with each other. Be willing to be vulnerable with each other. You know what I'm saying? In order to further, further the match. You know what I'm saying? To your point. Without that happening, man, it's for naught. You know what I'm saying? Because then, making a full circle, right? Coming back to that first point. Now we sitting there, trying to play mind games. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure out what it is that you like. I'm trying to figure out what, you trying to figure out what I like. You know what I'm saying? And it's just not going to work.
Well, hey, I mean, again, agree. And this is not a but to that situation, but the ladies are probably who are listening to this are probably going to be like, well, what in the world are you talking about? But to get to that vulnerability stage, you got to have one thing, and that's trust.
Okay.
If y'all don't trust each other, you ain't going to get to that stage, and you ain't going to be able to get to those three things that even Eric's talking about.
Right.
Because the minute something goes awry, it's out the door. And most fellas will be like, hey, man, you got to trust me. And then some of them dudes, man, they ain't doing the right thing to get that trust. So it's a two-way street, like you're saying. But, hey, man, if trust ain't in there, you out.
I feel like if you don't trust them anyway, I don't believe you should even be in a relationship to begin with. You need to move on and go somewhere else. I mean, trust is one of the beginning factors of a relationship. You know what I'm saying? If I tell you a certain thing or you tell me a certain thing and I don't trust or believe what you're saying, then we don't need to coexist. You need to go one way and I need to go the other way, because that only going to make our relationship worse and worse and worse because we can't trust each other. So I mean, why even go through it? Why bother? That's number one.
Absolutely. So it brings me to a thought in this conversation, right? There's a pretty strong movement. There's a red pill movement. I don't necessarily agree with everything that red pill says, but there's a strong red pill movement that's saying that says that us as men have to build our own value, while women are inherently born with their value, right? Additionally, with that, there's quite a few podcasters that I listen to, and a lot of them say the same things, that a man of means don't really care about a woman's education. They just don't want a person that they're dealing with that's not intelligent. But education does not necessarily mean intelligence, right? Additionally, it said that men really don't care about a woman's income. What do you fellas think about that?
Bruh.
Wow.
Yo, that's man, worth?
Mhm.
All right, man. Yo, I'm a counter that thought that you just threw out there, right?
Okay.
Because this is just facts, right? This is just what's going on today, man. You know what I'm saying? You see it, you see it everywhere where women want the world. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you gotta have you gotta have the finances, you gotta have the education, you gotta have a certain body build, or a certain type. You know what I'm saying? They want all this, but to counter that thought is essentially saying that we just looking for something that's nice on the arm.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, like, am I missing a point there?
So a lot of what the point is saying is that for a man of means, right? If you got an education, that's cool. If you got your own money, that's cool. But a lot of times, we don't have access to your money anyway, because you know how the saying goes: was yours is mine, it was mine is mine, and that's how women operate. You know what I mean? So in a lot of ways, I don't disagree with that point, because if I'm making $300,000-$400,000 a year and my wife is making 100, all right, we'll put it in the pot, but you go ahead and do what you're going to do, but I'm going to make sure we straight and we're going to continue to go forward. I think that's more so what the point is talking about.
Yeah, I think you're right, Eric, but I'll say this to that. It's in your perspective. Okay. So an individual that had, who we'll take an NBA player who's got millions of dollars and he's doing his thing. Everybody that comes to that individual, he's probably thinking they want me because of my money.
Mm-hmm.
That is his insight, and I got to think that as a person who's on a I'll say a lower financial level than that, you would tend to want somebody who can be equal to you or equally yoked with you. In saying that, though, I'm not saying that it takes away from that woman's education or intelligence or anything like that, because you definitely need that. But what I'm saying is someone definitely has to be on an equal level with you at what's important to you.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm going to leave it at that, but I got more to say. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Right. Mitch, what you think, fam? What you think?
That topic is I think it's a very touchy topic, because I believe it depends on each individual person. I mean, just go back to Doc Brown's point. If you have a $1 million athlete or whatever, who's very sensitive about who he dates because he doesn't want to be taken advantage of,
Mm-hmm.
he's going to be very cautious of who he dates. Very cautious of the type of person that he puts on his arm or takes out to whatever it is. Most of those women are just going to be women that he's laying with most of the time. You know what I mean?
Right.
But for a very serious relationship, I think it goes back full circle to what we talked about before. It goes back to trust, honesty, communication, and all those other things. And what if she doesn't have that type of money? But if I can trust her with me, as a $1 million person, with my finances, my heart, and my everything like that, none of that other stuff even matters to me. It doesn't matter how much money she makes. It doesn't matter what her education is. I need somebody, it goes back to your point, that's going to give me peace not walking the house, right? Yep. That's going to have, that trust factor that we talked about earlier. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to always support me no matter what I do. But it takes time to build those relationships, or it takes time to find that right person. You know what I'm saying? So there's going to be a lot of failed relationships when we talk about, bringing somebody in on my level that's going to make the same amount of money as me or whatever the case may be. It takes time. You're not going to jump right into it. So, I mean, that's why, this topic is very important, to men. So, I mean, a lot of us think that we are making a lot of money. You know what I mean? We're really not on a big scale of things. But at the end of the day, we try to find women that are going to support us. So we're going to be, like Doc Brown said, equally yoked to what we're trying to bring in. Most of the time, we don't find that. But that's not what we're looking for when we first meet a person. When you first meet someone, their finances ain't on their forehead. Their education level ain't on their forehead. You know what I'm saying? So you have no idea what they bring to the table until you bring them, into your fold. And once you do that, that's when you start understanding a little bit more about them, And if they connect on a deeper level than you, then none of the other stuff even matters. Because I feel you can make it anyway.
Facts. That's not what you got for that, fam. What you think?
I'm gonna just agree across the board and wait for the next one. When it's already being said, this is touchy. You know what I'm saying? Because on the flip side of that, man, I really look at everything like, yes, you getting to know that person. You know what I'm saying? Making sure that y'all click. You know what I'm saying? On the surface level. You know what I'm saying? First, before you even start getting into that, man, it's paramount. But, you know what I'm saying? What if the shoe was flipped? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, would you find my worth? You know what I'm saying? I guess I'm the question asker. You know what I'm saying? For this particular one, it's like,
Right.
all right, I'm gonna go ahead and bring you into my fold. You know what I'm saying? Regardless to where you are, you know what I'm saying, in life. And if we click, and then what if we reverse? Are you now gonna keep me along? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like I said, man, I'm gonna bow out of this one, man, and just agree across the board.
So I kind of agree with that. So I mean, just real quick, Eric. So I've heard women say things like, "I'll only date a man that only makes $100,000 a year or more, or whatever the case may be." How does that make men feel on the opposite scale? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like, if you see this woman and you find her attractive, you be like, "Man, I should talk to her, but I only make $70,000. So should I not approach her?" You know what I mean? Like, this is one of those things. Like, do women feel the same way about men? I mean, that's one of those things where, stop putting people in a box and saying, "I'm only going to do this. I'm only going to do that." Because at the end of the day, those people that you're saying you're only going to date are maybe the worst people for you.
I don't disagree with that point, Mitch. And I will also say this. Whether they want to admit it or not, speaking of women, whether they want to admit it or not, women are hypergamous by nature, meaning that they're going to go out and seek the best deal for whatever it is that they have, right?
Now, I wouldn't put them all in a box. I wouldn't say all.
I'm saying generally.
Okay.
So in most cases, if you're a single man dealing with women, you have to understand that the competition is heavy. But on the flip side of that same coin, the 10% of men, because it's only about 10% of all men that make $100,000 a year or more, right? So those 10% who are single and who are able to pursue women, they basically get the cream of the crop, because most women are looking for that type of man, 6 feet and taller, $100,000 a year, not wildly out of shape, got his own thing going. Like that continues to narrow down their dating pool to the point where there's only a certain group of men that you're going to be able to date. And guess what? There's a whole plethora of other women who are looking for the same type of man.
Yeah, but that's a learned behavior, man. That is passed down, man, through generation and generation.
I don't think so. Though, I don't think that's a learned behavior.
I'm about 80% sure that is a learned behavior.
Because think about it. You see, you're gonna make me put my dang on nerd hat on, aren't you?
No, man.
I'm gonna put it on because you're gonna listen.
No, but hear me out on this one, man. When it comes down to, you know what I'm saying, your mama's mama is sitting there telling, girl, you better find somebody that's doing X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And then when you have that daughter, you're telling her to do the same thing. You already removed half of your dating pool.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Half of the people that will go out there and do the extra mile to court you. You know what I'm saying? To bring you in to build something with you, because you've already been told your entire life that this is what you need in order to have a comfortable life. So how is that not a learned behavior?
So what I'll say to that, S-Dot, is simply this, right? If you look at us throughout evolution, since you're gonna make me put my nerd hat on, I'm gonna put it on.
Nah, man, do it, bro.
If you look at us through evolution, right? If you strip away all of the niceties that we have in a modern society and take us back to caveman days, right? Women in caveman days will look for the biggest, the strongest, the fastest, because those people were the ones who could almost guarantee the next generation, right? So now as we progress through life, it may not, it's no longer necessarily the biggest, strongest, fastest. It's who can provide, who can protect, and who can profess. That, I think that's built in our soul. Just like on the flip side of that, most men don't want a woman who's wildly promiscuous, because it limits our ability to guarantee paternity, right? So if we messing with a chick that she may be messing with 2 or 3 other dudes, at our core, we want to as men father the next generation, right? So I would say a lot of our behaviors are from the core, brother, because I'll tell you from personal experience and how I feel about it personally, right? It's more about how a woman treats me as opposed to her past, but I don't want to deal with a woman who I know is entertaining Bobby, Ricky, and Mike and everybody else. You know what I'm talking about? So I think some of our ideologies and some of our the way that we pursue each other, both men and women, are hardwired into us.
I think, man, we got to go back to what Mitch was saying, and that was the generalization of this. This one's a hard one to generalize, and I really believe that in some sectors of life, there are women that teach their daughters that they should go this route, and then there are some that say, "Hey, there are things that you have to do to grow to be a woman," and they don't give them very specifics on what those things are. Mm-hmm. So I believe that you're going to get a mixed bag of that, as you would men. A lot of us, we grew up without our fathers. We didn't know how to be men. We grew up to be men based on what we actually believed or what we saw that's what we wanted to be. Right. So I don't think that it's much different for women. And in some instances, yes, more women may have had their mothers as examples than men. However, I feel like, I have no scientific evidence of this, but I do feel like there is a balance there. That mm-hmm. There are probably some women who are told how to do it and they stick to that, and some who actually naturally go our own way. As a matter of fact, most women that we probably encounter have their own ideas on what they want, whether or not they were taught or not.
Right. Mitch, what you think about that one, fella?
I had to step away, man. I kind of missed what he said.
Dumb down, man. Doc was just saying, man, it's hard to generalize this specific topic. Right. And that it can go either way. You know what I'm saying? Some women go, one path, man. Others go, the path that they was taught. You know what I'm saying? That's just where we're left at. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
No, I got it. So basically what I do is I'll pick up on it. Like I was saying before, but I just think, men or women that are successful financially, it gives them an advantage of what they can and can't do. Mm-hmm. Just for instance, again, $1 million, athlete, he has a chance to play around with the women that he really want or don't want. You know what I mean? Because if a woman says, "Hey, I'm only going to date, this $1 million, guy," or whatever the case may be, she's essentially giving him the opportunity to treat him however she wants or however he wants. Right. He has the upper hand. He can do whatever he wants because that's the relationship she wants to be in love or not. All there is dollar figures or dollar signs, and that's all that this relationship is really starting off on. It's based off of just money or just whatever. And in our reality, I don't think relationships like that work. But we talked about it before. We talked about how we want, someone that's equally, up to us. So if I'm $1 million athlete or whatever, and I'm dating a woman who has no job, but I want our relationship to be strong and we build together, how can we do that?
So I would say I would say that if I'm this $1 million athlete, and once upon a time I thought I was going to the league, boy, I thought I was it. But if I'm this $1 million athlete, right, and I don't even necessarily have to be the top of the market, but I'm bringing in enough that I can take care of everything else. What would be equally yoked for me is, when I come home, the house is immaculate. The kids is good. You know what I'm saying? Everything's straight at the house. You know what I mean? When we go out, you're not embarrassing me when we out. You know what I'm saying? For me, it would be things along the lines of that would be for me to be equally yoked. Additionally, if she does have an education, I would prefer someone who has an education that complements what I'm already doing, right? So say our podcasts blow up, right? My wife is an accountant. You know what I'm saying? So she got them numbers on lock. And that's what would be important to me. That's what would be what I would consider equally yoked. She don't necessarily have to make as much as I do, but you have to be bringing just as much to the table as I am in order for us to be considered equally yoked. That's what I think about that.
I get it. And so, I mean, at the end of the day, I guess it goes back, what is equally yoked on my terms? What is equally yoked on your terms? You know what I mean? Like, if I'm bringing in this amount of money, you know what I'm saying? And let's say you were like, oh, if she takes care of the kids or whatever, what if you don't have any kids?
Right.
What if you don't have all this other stuff? She's just going to be just a professional volunteer. All she's doing is voluntarily spending your money. You know what I mean? Like what is she really bringing to the table? But again, at the end of the day, that's not my decision to make. It's not anybody else's decision to make. That's on that individual person.
Absolutely.
So you're $1 million, and whoever's watching this podcast, please do not take this the wrong way. if you're $1 million athlete, right, and you're projecting yourself in this light, you don't want a woman who's not going to represent you well. Meaning, she can't be out of shape, right? I mean, the last thing you want is a woman to be like, dang, he with her. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Most women be like, oh man, he with her. Most dudes be like, oh man, I can't believe this dude with her, bro. She trash. You know what I mean? But those are one of those things. Like, so do you have to stay upkeep? Like, do you have to make sure your makeup's done and your body's tight and all this other stuff 100% of the time to be equally with me because you're not bringing in the same amount of money as me? What is it? What is that equally yoked, look like, from other perspectives? I mean, I don't know, man. Well, it's tough.
It is, man. But I guess what I was talking about when I referred to equally yoked was the ability that both of you bring something equally to the table.
Right?
And I mean, I think maybe in my eyes, the watching the kids analogy might not have been something that I would probably go with. More, I would be thinking, okay, so as far as the things that I'm trying to do, like Eric, you did bring up that like your wife's an accountant,
right?
And that would help you as far as that's concerned. I would look at something more as whatever she's doing in her life is what her life is. If an accountant to me wouldn't be something that I would be concerned with based on what I am. Okay, I'll just use part of what I do. I'm a college professor. A accountant wouldn't be something that I would be useful, but maybe another person that is somewhat in the educational field that understands what I'm going through every day, mm-hmm. Would be something that I would count. Like, okay, she might be a high school teacher. Who cares? She's in the education field. So we can see each other from that perspective. Hey, he's going through this because I'm going through this as well. And I know what he's thinking, what he's doing on that. So I see that perspective, but at the same time, I think more when I spoke of being equally yoked, I mean someone who can equally see the things that you're going through, not even on a money perspective. I don't know that many people if they have money, both people are very wealthy. A lot of times those relationships don't work, to whereas when you grow up together and you've been in the fight together all the way up until both of you get together and you are on the same level, y'all made the same success at the same time. Those tend to work because y'all been through something together equally. So I don't know. I think that's just a different take on it.
I believe, I agree with you, Doc. Absolutely. But I think that's another one of my topics that, when we talk about relationship, is that the appreciation level, right? Men like to be appreciated. So does women, right? So I believe it's one of those things where it really doesn't matter what your career profession is, right? As long as whatever that is in your relationship and you both can appreciate that each other, where you can continue to grow generational wealth for your kids or whoever else, and you're able to do it, then I believe that's one of those things in a relationship that makes your relationship strong. And and men love to be appreciated too. You mean if I'm out there and I'm hustling every day and all this other stuff, men like to be told, hey, I appreciate what you're doing for the family. And I don't believe that men get that a lot. Men get the opposite side of the coin a lot, like, oh, you ain't doing nothing. You're a deadbeat, you're trash or whatever. And this dude may be out there, man, trying his hardest to get what he can. But every person is not going to be successful on an equal level. So, I mean, that appreciation thing, is a big thing. Just like go back to, the $1 million athlete that has a wife that's not equal to him or whatever. But if she's doing certain things that's making his life less stressful when he's on the road playing basketball, whatever, he comes home and he has, the bills to pay, whatever the case may be. He comes home and be like, oh, I appreciate you doing that for me. That makes her feel like she's wanted in a relationship. Same thing as that man. Like, hey, man, I appreciate what you're doing for the family or whatever. And I think that builds a better and a stronger relationship.
Yeah.
Well said, bro. S. Dot, man, you sit over there quiet, fella. What you got for it?
Nah, man, I think they said it all, bro. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm really waiting on the switch. You know what I'm saying, to the subtopic, man. Because
let me switch it up real quick. Then. we hit that thing real hard, right? And at the end of the day, I don't really think we even solve anything, but it's one of those good things to talk about, right? You know what I mean? Because every man has a different perspective. And that's what we're doing, is giving our perspective. So when we first came on, Eric, you talked about sex, man. We cannot ignore the fact that you talked about it and not bring it back up. Because I think, to me, sex in a relationship is very important, because sex enforces the love that you have for that person, right? Mm-hmm. That's what I believe sex is for. You know what I'm saying? So men, in my personal opinion, men find sex to be very significant in a relationship. And when he's not getting it, he feels that he's out of tune with his woman, per se. Right. So me, sex is one of those things where I believe we should be doing regularly. Why not? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it connects you. You know what I mean? Physically, right. Emotionally, it connects you, in different ways. And when you're not getting that, sometimes a man can feel inferior, or sometimes a man may not feel wanted, or again, appreciated. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not doing it in your relationship, I don't really think that you can get mad when a guy's doing other things, like looking at the magazine or checking Instagram and be like, dang, she all right. Because you ain't giving him what he wants anyway. I'm not saying he's stepping outside the relationship. I'm saying he's doing other things, liking posts or doing these other things, because he is not getting what he wants, at home. And I don't feel like a woman should just be like, well, I'm his wife or I'm his girlfriend. Let me do my wife or girlfriend duties and give him what he wants. Me, That's trash. Don't give me my wifey duties or your girlfriend duties. To me, that's garbage. I don't want the lazy side booty. I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want it to be, just as romantic and passionate as the day we first did it. It has to continue to be that way for whatever relationship, to keep the spark going, man.
Mm-hmm. Hey, man, yo. Ain't nothing worse in this world, man, in my opinion, man, than feeling like it's a chore. You know what I'm saying? Talking about sex in a relationship, or you don't know how to articulate your needs to that other person and they understand it. I mean, you just said, the lazy side booty, man. I mean, we've all been in those long-term, relationships. Some of y'all still in it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, yo, how do you continue to rekindle that? You know what I'm saying? To keep that going. And to your point, you know, yeah, if you're not getting it at home, you know what I'm saying, where you're supposed to, you know what I'm saying, how can that other person like, yo, really like, yo, I'm going elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? We done talked about it, we done argue about it, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm going elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? Yo, can you really be held liable? You know what I'm saying? For seeking something else. If that woman is not doing their part.
Doc, I'm gonna let you go get it. I see you, fella.
Nah,
go
man,
get it. I'll go after you.
Yo, take it off, man.
Hey, man. I mean, you just hit the hot button, sensitivity, all that stuff. This is definitely on a sensitive topic here.
No doubt. But it needs to be addressed. It needs to be talked about.
No doubt.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm not 100% agreeance in that, and this is why. My mom told me, just growing up, man, the first thing she ever told me about sex was when you have sex with a woman, you take a part of them away from her. And that really stuck with me my whole life, man, because they view sex differently than we do. Okay, one thing for a man, sex is generally, first of all, it's physical. Generally, it's physical. Now, you typically won't go just, have sex without, you got to have something with this person. As most women think, as long as it's a hole, it's something that you can go to. And I don't really believe that that's quite true. I think we do try to build relationships with women, and sometimes they just don't work. And sex could be part of that reason why. However, like I said, I just don't, I don't believe that it's just something that is just as simple as those things that are man, I'm at a loss for words right now.
But Doc, when it's weaponized, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Meaning, right? Yo, perfect example, you know what I'm saying? I perceive, you know what I'm saying, man in this relationship ain't doing what he's supposed to be doing, so I'm going to withhold. Yo, it ain't your birthday. You know what I'm saying? It ain't Christmas. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when it's weaponized, right? You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
as it often is. You know what I'm saying? You have to do this imaginary list of things that I'm not going to tell you, because you got to go out there and get the secret decoder ring to try to figure out, what's going on in my brain. And as soon as you hit all these things in this bucket list, then yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Yo, the door is open. And it's like, whoa. Once again, right? Communication. If we're constantly talking about this.
It's not initially that way.
No, it's not.
Yeah, because the representative, as we've been told about, that representative at first, you're trying to get to know each other. That sexual relationship is a lot different than when you're in a relationship. It's completely different. And what you're talking about is
I kind of beg to differ on that. I think it depends on the relationship, man. Like every relationship is different. Like every relationship.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, even though, some people who's been with the same person for, quite a while may feel like, oh man, the spark is out. I can't believe you still, with that same person. Hey, there's some things in that relationship that makes you continue want to have sex with that person. But
sure.
The thing is though, when you were talking earlier, when you were saying, hey, I believe, every time you have sex with a woman, you're taking something away from her. I agree with you 100% with that. But initially, right? Once you're in the relationship with that person, right? What are you taking from it? To me, I feel like what you're doing is you're reinforcing the fact that you love her, right? Because you're trying to connect on that, physical, emotional level. Initially, you're 100% correct. If you're out there and you just knocking them down, yeah, you're taking some away from them every time.
Yeah,
that's why they can't stand you and they hate your guts every time you walk by.
And I think that's what my mom's point was.
Real talk.
Was the initial. I'm not talking about the relationship piece of that.
Okay, I got you.
But yes, I agree 100%.
So after listening to what you fellas said, man, it's a couple key points that I wanted to touch on, right? So first and foremost, when it comes to a sexual relationship, right? And I say this all the time, I don't want no prisoners, right? So what I mean by that is I don't want you doing something that you don't necessarily want to do, because I can feel it. Another point that I would say to that, especially when Mitch brought up the Instagram girls and all this, that, and the other,
Oh, no.
bro, a lot of times what we look at and what we see and what we like on Instagram ain't necessarily what we want to come home to. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't even them, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
not even them.
but it's nice to look at, but it's not necessarily what we want to come home to. You know what I'm saying? And Doc, you made a point about that every time we lay with a woman, we take something from them. But here's the thing, that we as men need to get better about. Me giving my body to a woman is the same as her giving her body to me. Because there is still, I'm a firm believer in a person's energy, right? And how a person feels. Think about it, right? That's why they say birds of a feather flock together, right? Because like-minded people generally, they link together and they thick as thieves, right? And then when you have that outlier that say something off the wall, the whole group look at them like, bro, what you talking about, right? But it's the same when it comes to sexual relationship, because we always find our own level, right? So in my opinion, right, me giving to her is no different than her giving to me, because there is an energy exchange between the two parties. So, you know, I get it. You know, we're always taught as men not to acknowledge our feelings and not to acknowledge the emotional attachment that comes with sex. And, you know, we're not only are we raised that way, but I would also say evolutionary, it's that way too, because we're built to procreate. However, there's still an energy exchange. Like a chick that you ain't slept with versus a chick that you done slept with, you feel about them a little differently, whether you want to admit it or not. That's kind of how I feel about that.
No doubt, man. You know, to make a little bit lighter the situation, man. You be crying and stuff, bro. I'm just joking, man. I'm just playing, bro.
Man, I'm just saying,
man,
fam.
I agree.
It's a major energy exchange, fam.
I agree.
There is, Eric, and maybe that's the something that we do need to come into a more of a realization with. As far as us as men and the emotional attachment, I mean, because we are taught a little bit differently, or maybe not even taught, but something in us instinctively tells us that when you use the word emotion, that's not connected to a man. That's not manly.
Right.
Correct.
That is something that, oh man, what you mean I'm emotional?
Right.
But that in itself is an emotion.
It is.
But we tend to be like, oh man, I ain't emotional. I just feel a certain way about it. Well, what do you think that is?
Right. Correct. No
For
doubt.
sure.
So we definitely have that. You're exactly right. And that part that you said about us giving our body to a woman as well, that is a very, very good point, man. I mean, you can't dismiss the fact that this is a two-way street, and there are things that come that a man is involved in that maybe the women don't look at the same way. And I guess it goes back to how far we've taken, for instance, chivalry. I mean, that's something that is not a common thing these days.
Right.
But a lot of times, you know, we kind of do get away from those things. You know, after so long, you stop opening the door for your lady or things like that. And I try to teach my boys this, that they always try to, you know, do those things. You know, open the door for the lady, man. Let them, make sure that you pull out the chair, you know, do those things, because we do forget those things. And those are just things that we are I feel like are good things to just do as a man. But anyway, I'll let us Press on.
Well, fellas, we've been at it for a little while now, man. So,
Hey, but hold on, man. If chivalry is dead, it was killed by the opposite sex.
Don't say it.
don't
bro.
do that.
I just did.
Don't
I just did.
Well, he gonna get
Hey,
us
man.
canceled on the first
Hey.
episode.
Nah, man. Yo, man, you can say whatever you want, man, but how many times have you fell victim to somebody that don't even know how to receive it? You're gonna walk on the inside of me if we're walking down the street. You know what I'm saying? Just because that's the way you were raised. You're gonna open up the door. You're gonna pull out the chair, and then they look at you like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's something wrong with you.
But Sharod, in that sense, if you're with a woman that doesn't receive that from you, then that may not be the one for you.
No.
That may not be the one for you if she can't accept that.
I was making a point. It don't matter how many. More than half don't know how to receive it today. I'm talking about in the current construct of everything that's going on. They don't know how to receive it.
Ooh, boy, that's not gonna get us canceled on the first episode.
Hey, I'm telling you, man.
I just don't agree with it.
It's just the fact that, man, everybody wants to sit here, you know what I mean, and play a PC. Yo, I get it, man. It's our first episode, whatever, man. But let's talk the way that we normally will. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's throw out everything, you know what I'm saying, that's pertinent to the conversation right now. You know what I'm saying?
This is pertinent. I just don't agree, bro.
I mean, so Sharod, if you got a girl that's not receiving, the type of person that you are, just gotta let her know, hey, this is who I am. This is how I treat women. If you're not willing to accept that, then don't.
Well, that's why I'm still single, right? That's why I'm still single.
The relationship doesn't work. You know what I mean? I mean, you just got to be who you are. I mean, if you feel like those are things that you should be doing for your lady, and your son's watching you do that stuff related to the point Doc Brown was making, that's what you want. So if she's not receiving it, and she's like, don't do that for me, and don't do that, it lets me know that the relationship ain't gonna work anyway. Because if you don't like me doing things like that, you're not gonna like me doing other things as well. So you know what we should do? You need to go find the thug that punch you in the face and all that, because you don't want me. You know what I mean? So it's a difference.
I mean, but honestly, there are some things when it comes to chivalry that I don't necessarily agree with. Like opening doors. Here's what it is, and this is gonna sound real crazy, but when I explain the significance behind it, I think you'll be like, all right, I understand, Eve. When we're going into an unknown location, right, and my wife knows this, I'm always the first person to enter the room. And the reason why I walk in the room first is because if there's danger on the other side of that door, I'm going to be the one to face that danger, not her, right? We could be anywhere, and the way the world is right now, we can be anywhere, and me allowing her to go into a room first, it just, I get, with a lot of these restaurants and nice places we go to, there's generally no danger on the side of that, but I don't know that. So I'm gonna get in there first. I'm gonna make sure everything's safe, and then I will allow my wife and my children to enter the space. S. Dot, you brought up about how you always walk on the outside. I absolutely agree with that, because when my wife and I go out to run, right? Yes, I'm a lot faster than her. Yes, military, 21 years, I'm still doing all right, you know what I'm saying? But when we're running together, she's always on the inside, just in case. So a lot of that I get, but I can't disagree with you, S. Dot, man. I can't disagree, because a lot of times when we're dealing with the modern woman, even if I'm not trying to hit on her, if I extend a pleasantry, hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, a lot of times I get this, and I'm just like, oh, okay, well, do your thing. You have a nice day, young lady.
Hey, man, I appreciate
Is that chivalry or?
I agree. I'm going to say this, bro. Most of the time when, you say good morning to a woman or whatever the case may be, if she give you that thing, that little upset or whatever, okay, listen. Does it kind of make you upset that, she didn't reciprocate your good morning? Sometimes it does, but you don't know what that woman's going through that day. She may have been hit on by 14 different dudes walking in the building, and you may be number 15, or so she perceives number 15. and she's been going at it with her boyfriend all night, and she don't reciprocate the good morning, that don't mean chivalry's dead. That don't mean that, that she hates your guts. She's just not having a good day, or whatever the case may be. How many times have you walked in the building and someone said, "Hey, what's up, man?" and you don't say anything back to them? Does that mean that you're a bad person or whatever? Nah, it doesn't mean any of that stuff, man. It just means you're not in the mood for that thing at that particular time. Women get hit on so much, don't matter what they look like, don't matter what their genetic makeup is or whatever the case may be. They get hit on constantly by dudes all the time, constantly, right? And when they see you, you ain't no different from the last dude they try to hit on. So you really can't be upset if they don't, say it back or whatever, because it's different for us, man. It's different for us. You may get hit on by a woman once every week, or you know what I mean? But for them, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, but for them, they may get hit on, 14, 15 times, a day. Not, dudes all in the DMs, sending emails. They get hit on a lot, bro. Especially if they, look decent. It's just not the same, bro. So you can't really get upset about that, that issue. And I actually got that information from a female saying, "Hey, man, I get sick and tired of these dudes all the time. Like, what happened?" Oh, he said, "Good morning." I was like, "Dang, that really make you that upset?" She's like, "Yeah, I get tired of people talking to me." It's just one of those things, man. Like, you just can't get mad about it.
Hey, man, I come from a place, man, where if you don't know somebody, man, you don't speak to them. You know what I'm saying? But
that's that New York talk, bro. Y'all
that's crazy, bro.
Y'all like, you on this podcast with us, and deep down inside, you hate all of us. So we know the
truth. Well, damn, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I already knew, man, because what is it? 10 plus years, man, between all of us. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, I've always been a cynic. You know what I'm saying? In the group, man. You know what I mean? But I did want to touch on the emotional piece, man, because that's something that I did learn. You know what I'm saying? Over this 2.5 year journey, man, that I've been on. You know what I'm saying? Where I could finally say, yeah, I'm an emotional dude. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you are the most emotional out of all of us.
And that is fun. You know what I'm saying? And that is fun. Hey, Doc, man, I done cried on your shoulder a couple times, bro.
Hey,
you know
bro, I know, man.
You know what I'm saying? But that's okay, right? Because as I'm evolving right into Sharod, right? Like, who is Sharod? You know what I'm saying? Especially without a crutch for the first time in my life. You know what I'm saying? It's a dope thing, man. So I have no problem conversing with a woman, man, and just being, just plain. I'm not disrespectful, but this is what it is. This is who I am thus far. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? And this is where I would like to be. Either you're gonna get with it, or you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I have no problem, you know what I'm saying, bowing out gracefully from the situation, you know what I'm saying? But I'll probably throw out one last thing, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how to talk to women nowadays, man. You know what I'm saying? I just don't.
Right.
Because it's like, you could say hello, good morning. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to get me too, bro. You know what I'm saying? and say something. Hey, good morning. Oh, you look nice today, bro. All of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? I'm in the shirts office, you know what I'm saying, for sexual harassment. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, I don't know what to do. Any of y'all feel the same way? Well, not the married ones. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? But it's like, it was like simple compliments, you know what I'm saying, that we would perceive. And to Mitch's point, they probably did get hit on 15 times, but how hard would it for you to be like, oh, thank you, and just keep it moving? You know what I'm saying? Instead of hitting the beatbox and you know what I'm saying, and the neck movements, and they out there voguing on you, you know what I'm saying, making all types of ill noises. It's like, just I said good morning. You say good morning back, and then keep it keep it pushing.
So also to Mitch's point, I do agree with Mitch's point that women are approached and hit on a whole lot more than we are as men. But fellas, we've been on this joint for a little while now. So I'm going to say this and try to close the show, right? Y'all know my favorite rapper, alive or dead, is Tupac Amaru Shakur, right? And there's one thing that he said about why he is the way he is. He says that he is so vicious because he's so sensitive. And that truer words I don't think have been spoken. So, Doc, where can the people get a hold of you, man?
Man, I don't know my handle. It's I gotta learn that thing, man. I think it's Doc Brown 11 on Instagram.
I got it all written down. It's Doc Brown 11 on Instagram. How you not know your own handle?
Hey man, I'm learning, bro.
All right, I got you,
but
fam.
Hey, I got it down from now on.
All right, Doc. What else you got going on for the people, man?
Hey, for the people. Hey, I'm here. You can also get me on Facebook. It's just regular Dwayne Brown, PhD, on Facebook.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up, Mitch. What you got going on, fella? What you got for the people?
Yeah, you can always reach me at Special Agent P on Instagram, man. So also, side note, I'm a real estate agent. So if you guys out in Florida, man, and you guys looking for a house, looking to sell, buy, whatever, man, just hit me up. Go to Century 21, type in Elijah Mitchell, man, and all my info will pop up, and then you can just hit me up.
Bet. S. Dot, what you got for the people, man?
Man, the people can hit me up on any platform. Instagram, Facebook, Sharod.Lean. You know what I'm saying? I keep it simple because I'm just a simple dude. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And that's really it, man.
All right, for sure. And I go by the name of DJ_YM on Instagram. I'm also one half of the Sophisticated Spark podcast. You can find Sophisticated Spark, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Just look for Sophisticated Spark. I'm there. If you're looking for a DJ and you're in the Phoenix area, look for DJ YM. I'm your man. And together we are the Parallel Legacies podcast. You can find Parallel Legacies. If you got any questions, anything you want to know about what we got going on, you can hit us up at info.parallellegacies.podcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram. We got our Instagram set up and running. We only got a few pictures, so y'all gonna have to work with us because we're still working on it. But we're Parallel Legacies on Instagram. We also got our Parallel Legacies podcast on Facebook and Parallel Legacies group. So in the group just getting started because I've seen a couple memes in there. We've been there trying to cut up. But if you're looking for us, you can find us on any of those platforms. So fellas, I think this was a wonderful show. It went a little longer than we expected, but I kind of expected that to happen. Hopefully the people will rock with us for the whole show and we'll see what happens. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And you got all of our Instagram, all of our social media, so get at us, man. Anything else, fellas?
Nah.
All right.
Good,
thank y'all.
Man.
All right. So thank y'all for y'all time. This was the Parallel Legacies podcast, and we out.